So today I would like to give you guys a bit of an update on how the gun have been doing for the past few months that I've owned this. And here you guys are looking at a Nighthawk custom AAC threaded barrel in 9mm, sitting inside a DeSantis Mad Max, I think, holster. It's basically a Milt Spark lookalike, something like that. I cannot get a hold myself. I cannot get Milt Spark because it's not as easy as it is in the States. As you guys know that I'm not in the States, so getting holsters and other parts may not be as easy as it is in the States. So anyways, let's put that aside for a second. Let me clear this gun, and as you can see, the chamber is empty. So like I said, this is in 9mm. All right, now this gun is, in my opinion, is one of the phenomenal gun. Is exceptionally well built, perform really well despite of what people think and say about 1911. Now obviously you cannot generalize a gun based on one or two models that you guys have experience in shooting with. Now 1911, as you guys have known, have been around for over a century now. That alone proves something that other guns have not been able to prove. Okay, I'm not, well, Glock, for example, okay, it's been an ongoing debate. Regardless, I love Glocks. You know, I have Glocks as well, but I'll just like to give you guys a bit of an update of this on this gun. So basically, this gun have basically no significant hiccup or malfunction. There is obviously, and on my previous video I show you guys this gun after acquiring it for a couple of days, and I started shooting quite a lot of rounds with a suppressor. Okay, now people who are experienced using suppressor know that will make your gun really dirty, which was what was happening back then. And then close to a few hundred, probably 1,000 rounds, I forgot now. And then I was using a subsonic hollow point. As you guys can see right now, this is a 9x19, even though it looks somewhat shorter than the normal 9x19. And because it was a subsonic, and generally speaking it's has no problem whatsoever, but because the gun was in a very dirty condition because of the suppressor, it did had a few failure to feed and stovepipe. Other than that, provided you actually maintain the gun properly after every shooting, actually clean it, maintain it, the gun will never disappoint you, which is what I'm trying to tell you guys right now. So ever since that video, I have been shooting this gun quite extensively. I've been shooting this gun close to once a week at least, okay, sometimes more. And so at this moment right now, I think the gun has seen around 2,000 to 3,000 rounds, and fitment wise, nothing changed. The gun still is very well built. Okay, forget the only sound that you hear is coming out from the beaver tail. Okay, other than that, there's no sound whatsoever. Okay, extremely tight fit, extremely smooth. You obviously cannot uh, doesn't do it justice from by looking at the video, by watching the video, but okay, extremely smooth. Now, like I said, there's no movement whatsoever. Okay. It's actually my finger cracking, the noise that you guys are hearing. Okay. Now, like I said, based on what I have experienced with this gun, I'm extremely satisfied. I'm extremely impressed with this gun. Originally, I was actually looking to get myself a Wilson Combat, but being where I am in Indonesia, it's not as easy as going to a gun store and getting one. So what's available back then was this gun, which, as far as I know, Nighthawk was founded by a former employee of Wilson Combat. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I get from a bit of research online. But back to the gun. Everything about this gun right now, as you guys can see, this is stock. Okay, nothing has been changed except the grip. Okay, now the only reason why I changed the grip is for aesthetic reason. There's nothing more. This right here is a pair of VZ grip. Okay, now like I said, the only reason I do this is for aesthetic. There's no practical reason for me to do this. It's actually, in fact, a bit of a inconvenient to carry this gun if you do carry it, especially inside the waistband, obviously, because the aggressive nature of this grip is going to hurt your skin, your hip, or whatever, right? Which is what I experienced, but that's not the it's not important, because for practical reason, obviously the grip is meant for extreme conditions, so to speak, right? I will not be in any combat situation anytime soon, or will I ever plan to be in. So having such an aggressive grip texture actually did not apply well to me, I guess. But you know, I thought it looked so cool with VZ grip, and I actually bought a pair of it, and the other one actually have the thumb cut out, which looks so much cooler, but just decided to change this, and I changed the screw as well, because original Nighthawk screw, I think it came with Allen, I think, head or torque, I forgot, I think it's Allen, but decided to change it with this flat head, so it's easier to tighten, I guess, with whatever available tool that you have. You don't actually have to have Allen key with you all the time. So other than that, basically the gun, I don't actually pamper this gun, but obviously I try to take care of it as much as I could. As you can see, there's a bit of a ding right the rear side. I don't even know how it got there. I don't remember it hitting anything. So as you guys can see, there's a bit of a stain happening on the slide and frame on both sides. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about that. Okay, now here in Indonesia, we actually have caddy and shooting range. So basically they are there to help you with mounting the paper target, and you know, fixing all the steel target that you actually knocked down after shooting a couple of rounds. Now they also in many cases are asked to clean firearms by shooters. Now I usually clean the gun by myself. Okay, clean the gun myself. But that for that one day we were there I was there with a couple of my friends, and there were a lot of firearms. We were shooting a lot of firearms, and at the end of the day, we were about to finish. The caddy was actually nice enough to offer me if I want him to clean it. So I thought, well, I was chatting with my friends and stuff, so I thought, yeah, why not, you know. So literally, I know that he was using something quite strong to clean the gun. He basically disassembled the gun and spray some lubricant, which I thought was carburetor cleaner, but I think it could be brake cleaner. And then he just put it on the table and left it to dry. Apparently, by doing so, he basically left a stain on the slide. I was quite pissed. Um, Specifically after you guys have, I know this gun costs quite a lot in the States, but you guys have no idea how expensive guns are in our country. We actually have to be crazily in love with firearms. We're actually willing to pay that much to own one, but we have no choice, right? But story for another day. But so basically, I was really pissed, especially knowing how much I pay for this. But I figured, it actually adds character to the gun, I guess. Which again was got, a gun. I will not necessarily going to be pampering this gun, so I thought, it's eventually going to get wear and tear and stuff like that for this gun, which over time it has. And actually, I actually like the look of a worn firearm, and so I thought if the finish actually gets worse, I can easily have it refinished. And but to be honest, I was a little bit disappointed. As far as I know, Nighthawk uses a black nitride. Now, I'm not an expert on gun finishes, etc., but after talking to a couple of people, they all said black nitride should be strong enough to actually handle carburetor cleaner. I mean, a lot of people actually does use carburetor cleaner on their black nitride finished guns, and doesn't do this to their gun, but for some reason it does to mine. Whether or not it's because of the weather or how hot the temperature was, but a gun after a firearm is, it's the same anywhere you go. I mean, even though the weather is so much cooler, probably in the, for example, in Europe or in the States, but the gun gets really hot after a couple of rounds. So I thought, I don't know what happened, but yeah, that's a bit of a bummer for me, I guess. But other than that, I'm pretty, like I said, there's no issue whatsoever with the gun. The gun does shoot low, like I mentioned on my previous video, but yeah, I don't know, man. Like, really impressive. There's one thing that I like to mention also. I really like how the gun came with a slim grip. I know the normal grip for 1911 is actually much more thicker than this. This one actually comes with a thin one. So I actually ordered the thin one as well from VZ Grip because my hands, as you can see, is not really that big. Okay, but it works out perfectly for my hands. This size grip. All right. So I guess that's about it, man. The threaded protector actually come loose every once in a while, but it's always like that, I guess, with all threaded barrel firearm. Now I know that some actually does they actually comes with rubber O-ring. I think that helps in coming loose, but this does not come with that rubber O-ring, so it does come loose every couple of rounds. I do not necessarily want to keep the protector open like that, because obviously the whole point of the protector is to protect the thread, right? So in case you actually want to use a suppressor, you can actually thread it in. If it's damaged, obviously you cannot thread the suppressor in, right? Now, if you shoot this gun and then the protector actually come loose all so frequently, and then having to tighten it It's not really that practical because of how hot the thing will get, right, after a couple of rounds. I guess that's about it, guys. And it's not a review. I do not actually want to do a review because I don't feel I'm qualified enough to actually make a review video of a firearm. Not that knowledgeable, I guess, yet. All right. This gun eats anything, man. Frangible flathead 9x19 by Fiocchi. Subsonic hollow point, which is much shorter than the normal 9x19 FMJ, plus P, etc., etc. Everything works with this gun. Now, like I said, obviously, does occur. There's some hiccups occur when the gun was extremely dirty with the suppressor on. Other than that, it's fine. All right. So there you go. For those of you guys who like to think 1911s are not reliable, think again, okay? Because this gun is extremely reliable. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Click the like and subscribe button if you will. I would much appreciate it. Thank you. Bye-bye.